You guys, we have a problem. Paul Heyman has been attacked by the bloodline. Solo Sokoa in the middle of the ring tells Tomatonga to acknowledge him as the tribal chief. Tomatonga, of course, acknowledges Solo. He proceeds to ask Tamaloa, is it? I believe that's his name. Yeah, Tamaloa, to acknowledge him, and Tamaloa acknowledges him. Then he asks Jacob Fatu to acknowledge him, and Jacob Fatu acknowledges him. And this whole time, Paul is just looking so distraught. By this point, you could tell Paul has already been going through it. He's been going through it since WrestleMania 40. His last feel good moment was being inducted in the Hall of Fame, but it's been downhill since. And Solo just goes straight to Paul, pulls out the same beads, I think, or was it like flowers or petals? The tribal chief necklace that belonged to Roman, much to Paul Heyman's disdain, and tells Paul to acknowledge him. And this hits hard for Paul because he knows deep in his heart that his true tribal chief will always be Roman Reigns. Paul takes a moment, says, I acknowledge the fact that you are not my tribal chief, and throws down the mic while crying, knowing that he's most likely about to get murdered. And the murdering just proceeds, and Solo spikes Paul, then tells Jacob Fatu to goes up. Fatu does. And Fatu does a diving headbutt, I think, on Paul. Just jeez. Then they proceed to do a shield style triple power bomb. Another nod to throwing shade at Roman. And then Tomatonga puts the flowered necklace onto Solo. It's broken down. It has broken down. At this point, it's like, what now? What now? What? I could only imagine what Roman must be feeling. I could only imagine. Because just sitting at home, lost your WWE title to Cody, took a hiatus. You've been filming a movie with Eddie Murphy, I believe. Then the unfortunate passing of his father. And then Paul Heyman gets attacked on SmackDown. I honestly thought I knew that Triple H was gonna have all this lead to Paul Heyman getting attacked, but I didn't think it would be this soon. I thought it would be kind of drug out at least until like SummerSlam, maybe a little past that, closer to Survivor Series, because Triple H loves long-term booking, but they already pulled the gun, so like this is definitely a new version of the Bloodline, and now every single original Bloodline member isn't even in the Bloodline. The Bloodline is completely over with. Now we got the new Bloodline, Bloodline 2.0. So, you guys know. you guys know. You guys know what gotta happen. Jimmy gotta come back as the fourth man in the Money in the Bank match between Cody, Randy, KO, and the new Bloodline. Seeing as what happened to him right after Mania, then what just happened to Paul, it's only a matter of time before it happens to Jay. It's only a matter of time before it happens to Jay. Jay's only been safe because he's on Raw. The Bloodline is on SmackDown. Jay is only safe when he's on Raw, but they have a pay-per-view at Money in the Bank. So what's going to happen at Money in the Bank? I feel like the Bloodline is going to cost Jey Uso the briefcase. They're going to do something to where maybe Tama Tonga or Solo or someone, or maybe the whole Bloodline just comes down and beats down Jey. It's going to come to that. It is going to come to that. And then as far as Roman's return, I don't really know when Roman's return will be. There's no real date on that, really. And then now that Cody's involved in this storyline, you have to factor in The Rock, I think, because if I'm not mistaken, The Rock is probably going to have a match with Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam, because right after Mania, he told Cody, I'm going to be back. But I think The Rock is injured. I don't know what the severity of the injury is. I'm like, geez, is it really a good idea for The Rock to step back in the ring if he keeps getting injured every time he returns to the ring? Probably not, especially because he's a huge movie star. But if it's not wrestling related, then okay, I can see that. But he did pull out a banger WrestleMania 40. But anyway, sticking to the storyline here, this is getting crazy. This Samoan warfare is getting absolutely nuts. And what's crazy is I don't even think that these are the last of the Samoans that we're going to see come into WWE, because there's still Zilla Fatu. There's still that very, very tall 6'8" one. I can't remember his name, but and then I know there's more out there. So this story is gonna like continue to probably like next WrestleMania. It's all gonna come together. Jay and Jimmy should reconcile, and then both of them should probably reconcile with Roman. I say Roman's gonna have like a whole redemption arc, probably. If I was Trips, I'll book it to where like he comes in, they do an angle where like the new bloodline is like beating on Roman, and Paul tries to protect Roman, and they end up beating on Paul. And then Roman tries to like get the Usos back, but like they're kind of hesitant. It's kind of like a no, but then again, they do got beef with Solo and the new bloodline. And somehow, some way, it all comes back to them teaming up together. And maybe Jacob Fatu turning on Solo. But this storyline is crazy right now. I rate this storyline. I would say storyline of the year. But then again, you have to think Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk. Is it really storyline of the year? Because it's starting to get really crazy. It's starting to get really crazy. And I love it. I love it. I love it. This is wonderful. This is what me as a wrestling fan love. But anyways, that's SmackDown. Nothing really too important besides that happened on SmackDown. But that was wild. Paul Heyman has officially been taken out by the Bloodline. And now where do they go? Because now they're just going to be running crazy, running rapid like a bunch of wolves. But Roman's return is going to be huge. That pop is going to be probably the biggest pop ever, maybe. I mean, I don't want to say ever, but like, up there with Stone Cold, those type of pops. Yeah. Roman Reigns, the new Stone Cold. Not really.
Chucky,
but Roman Reigns
you
is Roman
won't get
Reigns.
lucky. This ain't no child's play. Go and get your huggies. I'm looking for Andy. Nobody can touch me. They'll blame you and everybody for the murders but me. They say want you up, but this is what you got now. I create the memories you always trying to block out. Not for my